colleague.
The story opens 300 years after the disaster that devastated Earth, in the Iron City located in the middle of a massive junkyard. During the survey, Dr. Dyson accidentally discovers a female cyborg with her human brain still intact. That brain once belonged to an ordinary girl, but what is special is that her heart has the ability to generate enough energy to light up the entire city. This advanced technology originates from Zalem, the floating city in the sky. He brings her back to his home, replaces the necessary parts, and to his surprise, the mechanical body starts functioning again. When she wakes up, she has no memories of herself. Who am I? Where is this place? Those are the first questions she utters. Dr. Dyson decides to name her Alita, the same name as his deceased daughter. Alita quickly adapts to her new life and learns to behave like a real human being. Dyson tells her that 300 years ago, Earth once had numerous floating cities with superior technology, protected by robot police forces. But after the fierce war with the Mars Republic, nearly all of them vanished, leaving only Zalem, a gigantic metal mass hovering in the sky. That place is the domain of the super, rich and powerful, those who live far removed from reality. Meanwhile, the people on the ground must labor nonstop to serve the upper class, and everyone nurtures the hope of changing their fate, dreaming of one day setting foot in Zalem. There are many paths to achieve that, such as participating in the highly competitive motorball matches, or becoming a hunter-warrior, a dangerous profession that could make you disappear at any moment. One day, Alita happens to pick up a wanted poster offering a reward for whoever captures the person responsible for a series of serious incidents targeting women in the city. Absorbed in reading it, she does not notice a giant guard approaching. Just as she prepares to react, a stylish young man speeds in on a one-wheeled motorcycle and pulls her out of the way in time. Right after that, Alita rushes out to rescue a small dog panicking in the street, nimbly dodging through the four legs of the guard and bringing it to safety. The young man's name is Hugo, and they quickly become close. Noticing the constant danger lurking around, Dyson grows worried and takes Alita back home. On the first night after waking up, she is awakened by strange sounds outside. She sees Dyson wearing a long coat, holding a large suitcase, with an injury mark visible on his arm. This makes Alita suspicious, reminding her of the person on the wanted poster. The next morning, she confirms that the wound is real. A doubt arises in her mind that he might be involved in illegal trading activities. Carrying a bottle of milk, Alita goes outside and promises to return before dark. At the door, she encounters a strange woman who looks at her with hidden meaning. It is Sharon, Dyson's ex-wife, who has come to persuade him to return to Zalem by cooperating with Vector, a calculating figure. However, Dyson refuses because he knows the wrongful deeds of that group. He does not want to assist them, nor does he intend to return to Zalem. Meanwhile, Alita joins a simple version of motorball with her new friends. A rude guy charges at her, causing her to fall. Unwilling to accept it, Alita immediately reacts, unleashing a quick series of moves, regaining the advantage and forcing her opponent to retreat. She plans to go home after playing, but when Hugo invites her to eat, Alita cannot refuse and returns home late. The next day, Hugo takes her to an old church, the place that holds his secret. From there, Alita sees the gigantic pipe system transporting goods up to Zalem. That evening, Alita again sees Dyson quietly leaving with the suitcase, so she follows him. She discovers he is tailing a provocatively dressed woman. Thinking he is the person on the wanted poster, Alita jumps down to intervene, accidentally allowing the target to escape. At that moment, a giant figure appears behind them. Alita learns that Dyson is actually a hunter-warrior. Another opponent approaches with a challenging attitude and quickly engages him in combat. Although Dyson fights fiercely, the opponent is too fast, putting him at a disadvantage. When the situation becomes critical, Dyson tells Alita to leave, but she cannot abandon him. Alita rushes in to assist, delivering a barrage of strikes that leave the opponent unable to react. The woman reveals herself as a cyborg with a half-human, half-machine body, charging in with continuously spinning blades. Alita dodges nimbly but is still pushed back. However, she quickly counterattacks, forcing her opponent to pause. Meanwhile, Dyson is overpowered by the giant. The confrontation between the two female warriors grows tense, with Alita continuously evading deadly blows. After many precise maneuvers, she turns the tide, leaps onto the wall, and delivers a decisive strike that leaves her opponent unable to continue. The giant grows furious and reveals a body assembled from high-grade technology. One punch from him shakes the ground and shatters the walls. Although his strength is superior, he moves slowly, Alita exploits this, launching continuous counterattacks, climbing high, and striking to sever one of his arms. At that exact moment, Alita's deep memories suddenly surge, revealing a past battle where she was once known by the designation number 69. Upon regaining consciousness, Alita immediately grabs Dyson's weapon and delivers a powerful blow to the giant. But he growls a threat that he will not let them go and quickly leaps into a deep pit to escape. Afterward, the two go to headquarters to collect the reward, and Alita also registers to become a hunter-warrior. Upon returning home, in response to his adopted daughter's curiosity, Dyson has no choice but to recount the entire story involving his biological daughter and his current work. He shares that to treat their daughter, he and his wife left Zalem to live in Iron City. There, he was forced to build bodies for prominent figures in the underworld to earn money for expenses. Ironically, one of the individuals Alita had just defeated was the very person who caused the tragedy for his daughter. Overwhelmed by grief, his wife left without a word, and the body Alita is using was originally prepared by him for his unfortunate child. From then on, Dyson became a hunter, warrior not only for the money but also because of the guilt that always haunted him. He also reveals a truth that surprises Alitas. She has existed for the full 300 years. Meanwhile, the heavily injured giant seeks out Vector and Charon's room, begging for help in his ruined state. Upon learning that Alita has defeated his strongest machine, Charon cannot hide her astonishment. Not stopping there, Nova, the mastermind behind everything, issues an order through the giant to bring Alita's heart back. Nova is a scheming figure who survived the war 300 years ago and is now being hunted. Dyson and Alita search for information on the giant but find no criminal record, indicating that all his actions are being concealed. The two realize they could become targets at any time. Alita wants to become a warrior to protect both of them, but Dyson firmly stops her. Frustrated, she goes with Hugo to watch a professional motorball match. Hugo leads her into the technical area, where she also meets the top racer of the league. However, Alita has no idea she is being watched by Charon and Vector. The number 1 racer has just defeated his opponent with an extremely powerful device, but while celebrating, he fails to notice someone targeting the parts on his body. From the shadows, Hugo and his friends appear and subdue the champion. It turns out they are the ones who specialize in collecting parts to sell on the black market, and they also work for Vector. One day, Hugo and his friends take Alita to a desolate suburban area where only traces of the collapse remain. There, she sees an ancient ship lying alone in the lake. The friends inform her it is a product from the faction that launched the war years ago. The moment she sees it, Alita feels an inexplicable familiarity. She goes into the water alone, enters the ship, and seems to know every corner inside, even unlocking the door with a code. Before her is a warrior armor. Without hesitation, she brings it back. But when he sees the armor, Dyson is determined not to help her combine with it. After a tense argument, he is forced to tell the truth. Alita is not only a warrior but also a biological weapon created for war. That causes her to be constantly drawn into confrontations as an instinct. Even so, Dyson only wants her to live like an ordinary girl. Disagreeing, Alita decides to face the giant on her own and recover her memories. She registers as a hunter and goes to the bounty hunter bar. There, she meets the small dog she once rescued, and it happily runs to her side. Alita enters with the purpose of calling for support, but Zapan, an arrogant figure, provokes her, showing off the rare Damascus sword he possesses. Without hesitation, Alita counters, overwhelming him swiftly and completely stripping him of the initiative. The atmosphere immediately becomes tense, and in just a few seconds, the entire bar descends into chaos. The conflict spreads, making it hard to tell who is fighting whom. When Dyson appears to stop it but fails, he is forced to use the promise of free repairs to calm the situation. Just as everything settles down, the giant appears with a significantly upgraded appearance. No one steps forward to help Alita, only the small dog barks in her defense. When he tries to attack it, that action causes Alita to completely explode. She chases him down to the area below. The weapon he is using belongs to the previous motorball racer. Alita attacks relentlessly, but each time he is damaged. The opponent becomes more dangerous with flexible claws. She quickly dodges and creates an opportunity that causes part of the structure to collapse onto him. Though injured, the giant continues to return for battle. In a moment of vulnerability, Alita is severely destroyed, her body no longer intact, but she still refuses to give up. He thinks he can eliminate her this time, but Alita fights on with unwavering resolve. With what remains of herself, she delivers a decisive strike to the opponent's weak point. At that moment, Dyson and Hugo arrive in time to provide support. Realizing the unfavorable situation, the giant quickly retreats. Alita is rescued, but her body is heavily damaged. With no other choice, Dyson helps her combine with the warrior armor she found earlier. The result exceeds expectations, and the new body is fully compatible, making Alita stronger than ever. Afterward, she and Dyson also resolve their differences. Hugo is overjoyed to see her again and cannot hide his surprise at her astonishing recovery ability. In this reunion, the two officially express their feelings for each other. In the following days, they are always together. Alita shares her desire to set foot in Zalem, even offering to give Hugo her precious heart to help him fulfill his dream. This frightens him, and he advises her not to trust so easily. Noticing the relationship between Alita and Hugo, Vector seizes the opportunity and lures her into joining Motorball to quickly earn money to reach Zalem. Without suspicion, she agrees to participate, unaware that she is being used. At this time, Hugo is trying to convince his friends to abandon their old path, but the disagreement leads to conflict among them. At that moment, Zapan appears, assigned to frame Hugo. He eliminates those present to pin all the blame on Hugo. Though severely injured, Hugo cleverly creates a chance to escape by causing chaos and blending into the crowd to disappear. But he does not let it go easily. Hugo has to climb onto the roofs of 2 cars and hide on a balcony to avoid detection. On Alita's side, the situation is also unfavorable. She still casually greets everyone without realizing the danger is near. Only Dyson fully understands that the opponents on the field are all veteran hunters targeting her. He immediately tries to contact Alita, but she is trapped in the arena and cannot leave. With no other choice, she must continue. Alita continues to defeat more hunters until only 3 remain. At that moment, she receives a distress signal from Hugo. Simultaneously, another sprays fire onto the field, causing her to fall hard. Alita immediately breaks through the large screen to escape outside, while the 3 pursue closely behind. The remaining 3 continue chasing Alita up to the rooftop. There, one wraps her leg with a chain while the saw-armed one charges. But thanks to her quick reflexes, Alita makes him strike his own teammate by mistake. Finally, only one opponent faces her directly. In just a few seconds, Alita easily neutralizes him. Right after that, she arrives in time to rescue Hugo, but he has fallen into Zapan's trap. Unable to accept her loved one being framed, Alita is filled with rage. In the chaos, Zapan exploits a gap and inflicts severe injuries on Hugo. Hugo collapses, and security forces quickly arrive, surrounding them both. Alita takes him to hide in the church. There, Hugo explains that he is not the one behind those acts, but only collects parts to earn money to leave this place. Witnessing their plight, Charon decides to help and distracts Vector. Their plan is to use another body to deceive the guards. The trick fools the control forces, but not Zapan. He demands an inspection. However, he has violated the rules by seizing spoils that do not belong to him. Alita immediately counterattacks, leaving him unable to continue the pursuit. The guards confirm Hugo has not survived and award her the bounty. Afterward, Alita brings Hugo back for Dyson to assist with a body transfer, giving him a chance to live on. The procedure succeeds, but Hugo has not yet awakened. Alita realizes she must confront those behind it all. She begins to act, breaking into the guard forces base and advancing inside. Despite all warnings and resistance, she quickly neutralizes the entire force there. Next, Alita suddenly appears before Vector, causing him to panic. He admits that no one truly gets to Xylem, and if noticed by Nova, they only become entertainment tools. At that moment, the reactivated giant suddenly attacks, affecting Alita. This collision causes her memories to gradually return. She recalls her past mission to oppose Xylem. Images of comrades failing when approaching the flying city appear clearly. Back in reality, Alita pours all her strength into a counterattack, delivering a decisive strike that leaves the opponent unable to continue. Afterward, she faces Nova through Vector's body. He appears impressed but does not forget to issue threats against Dyson and Hugo. In response, Alita remains unshaken and ends Vector's role. Nova retreats, leaving a promise for the next confrontation. At that moment, Dyson reports that Hugo has awakened but is no longer there. Alita immediately understands he is trying to reach Xylem and hurriedly chases after him. When she finds him, everything is already too late. Hugo is attacked by the city's defense system while trying to approach. Alita tries to hold his hand, but ultimately cannot keep him. Their final words of love still echo. In the end, Alita stands alone before Xylem, having become a powerful warrior with the Damascus sword in hand, ready to face every challenge ahead.